Why don't we call there you go, thank you. Let's call the special workshop meeting for city council at 4 p.m. First, the workshops discuss the implementation of an ordinance establishing regulations related to the operation of golf carts, pocket bikes, and mini motorbikes within the city, providing and establishing up to a $500 penalty per occurrence for violation of the ordinance, providing for the following findings of fact, enactment, repealer, penalty, savings, severability, proper notice of meeting, and effective date clauses, as is true for all workshops. These are very informal, so anyone can talk at any time. And once the mayor gets here, she'll orchestrate, but we might as well get going. Henry, do you have some comments you want to start with?
Well, we do have, we've been working on this, we've updated it, and Mr. Rutledge, he provided a lot of information for us, and it is available. And well, we have the workshop so he can kind of guide us with the language.
Okay. Rich, this is yours. Any comments you want to have? You brought it to the table.
Well, I'm ready to get it going.
All right, okay. And since there's only two of us, this ought to be easy.
Yeah.
Anything else that guy,
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's a ton of research already done, just gotta pick and choose.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, and I like that y'all are gonna try to do some, a little more restrictive. State law would allow that for 35 mph road. But first of all, let me start with saying, I actually kind of support the whole project as long as it's regulated.
Mhm.
We gotta define it before we can regulate it. It allows people to have a little bit more mobility. So that's nice, right? They can take the golf cart, you can go here, you can all the way, you can get to the grocery store. Because we need to make it to where they can cross some of the main roads, just not travel on the main roads. Keep it in neighborhoods. Some of the stuff that I had brought up before, I've done a little research on. Whatever y'all make as an ordinance doesn't negate someone else's ability to already use it to go to the golf course. So stuff like that, like you can already use a golf cart to go to the golf course, you just have rules they have to apply by there. Not that too many people even do that too well, but they get 5 miles, go straight to the golf course. I think you have to put the license plate on it there, and I did talk to the DMV, there is a $14 license.
Would you mind maybe sitting over there so you can get the microphone? Because they could usually hear better with the microphone. Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, for those who are out there, although I'm not sure we have a huge audience out there yet, but when we video this. Yeah. You can be the media today. Or expert witness.
There you go. Thank you.
But somebody would still be able to go to the golf course. Like, without going through all of these steps to use the vehicle to do other things with. I don't wanna be. Oh. I guess this is y'all's show, just let me know what y'all wanna know.
So do we want to go through it line by line? Is that probably the best, so we can just say we got it all worked and then be done with it? Because I think we have enough time. It's what, 6 pages long? We start on, let's see, where we start at page 8 of our, actually, no. Exhibit A, page 9 of 203 for us. It should be 3 of 10 for the time. I don't know that there's any issues that I see at all. Page 3, page 4. We go to section 2, operating regulations. Applies to golf carts, utility task vehicles, pocket bikes, and mini bikes.
So is that the same thing that I had originally been given?
Yes, we didn't change it whatsoever.
Well, I would definitely eliminate pocket bikes because there's no ability to allow that to happen. That's
Okay.
just not allowed by state law.
Any reference to pocket button?
Pocket bikes or mini motorbikes, any motorbike is technically not even a defined thing. They're all just called pocket bikes.
Okay, so we can strike the whole definition for pocket bike or mini motorbike or any reference to that in the
Yeah,
whole ordinance.
Because there's a section that allows y'all to make an ordinance for two different things. The golf cart, which that's easy to define and easy to do. The utility vehicle, basically it's called, you can make a thing for off-highway vehicles. So if we go to that guide I gave y'all, I mean, you can have an off-highway vehicle with anything from the three-wheeler, the go-kart, the sand rail, which I highly don't want to do. But you can also then have recreational off-highway vehicles or utility vehicles. I think that's where y'all are aiming.
You got it. Yep.
And so if you, in your definition, reference and say off-highway vehicles limited to and define them, they're a defined term in the transportation code. So just reach over to the guide that I gave y'all and say a utility vehicle as defined in, and then you can just simply say this section of the transportation code.
So right now it says utility task vehicle means a motor vehicle designed by the manufacturer primarily for utility work and regular purchases commonly known as side-by-side or Polaris type vehicle that is not designated for use on a golf course, but is equipped with seats for at least two occupants side-by-side and a steering wheel for steering control.
Yeah, and utility vehicle and transportation code, very similar, equipped with side-by-side seating for the use of operator and passenger, designed to propel itself with at least 4 tires in contact with the ground. So I like that in case somebody were to try to come up with a 3-wheel version of this. Then design, you know, and this is y'all's ordinance. If you want people to be driving around with some weird vehicles, y'all are allowed it.
So
Designed by manufacturer for all highway use only and designed as a manufacturer primarily for utility work.
Yep.
And you really sort of get the idea of what that is. The recreational off-highway one, equipped with a seat or seats for use of the rider and passengers. If the vehicle is designed by the manufacturer to transport passengers or passengers. Designed to propel itself with 4 or more tires in contact with the ground. And very similar, not designed by the manufacturer primarily for farming or lawn care.
okay,
So,
so you're suggesting we take the definitions right out of the code and put them in our ordinance.
In our ordinance.
yeah, so and look at them and double check. Is
Okay.
this what I was aiming for?
Yeah.
And then the photos that are there sort of help you go with like, that's about what I want.
Yep. Okay.
What I don't want is to then let somebody have this all-terrain vehicle in here, which that literally opens up 3-wheelers and golf carts.
Yeah.
Or go-karts, I'm sorry,
Mhm.
like the little go-karts, you don't want that. And a sand rail, you don't want those, because they're not gonna be great for golf, the highways.
So time out for a second. And so Jill, what do you need then to be able to add those definitions? John? And this is, I think, as a comment, Jonathan. Further in the ordinance, it says pocket bikes and mini motorbikes are prohibited. Down in section 5 of this ordinance.
So
Are you suggesting we don't even say that?
you can say it in there so that people don't misunderstand. You're just simply stating again, they are prohibited.
Okay, well, that's why the definition of pocket bike and motorbikes was in the ordinance.
Okay.
Okay, so we could leave it.
Yeah, you can.
So you could leave it, and then what I would do is just reach over to, I think it's on.
Here's the language right now we have in it. It says should be unlawful for a person to operate a pocket bike or mini motorbike on or in public street, path set aside for exclusive operation, bicycles, sidewalks, city playground, park areas, city owned park space or area.
Okay. Yeah, you're simply saying, don't ride them.
You got it.
Yeah,
That's
because they're
exactly-
not allowed.
They're not
And
allowed.
then what I would do is on page 17 in that guide y'all gave you, we actually say where the definition of a pocket bike or mini motorbike is. That way you're just sort of aligning with the transportation code and saying. Just like the transportation code says this thing can't be used, we also say our ordinance can't be misconstrued to include, because these are simply defined as not here.
Okay.
So I get that.
Yeah, okay.
But what's happening right now with the people that are riding them motorized bikes everywhere? Against the law, right?
Yeah, we just gotta stop them. So, there was a guy on a little red one riding that thing all over the place with the biggest smile on his face. We had to say no. You can't do that. And then you'd be surprised. So if I take an electric bike, which don't qualify, you don't wanna mess with electric bikes. That's a very big thing people are using around here. They have their own definition. This doesn't touch that. But whenever they soup up that electric bike and it starts going over 28 miles per hour, it's a mini pocket bike.
Right.
Yeah, doesn't matter if it's not mini, it's mini pocket bike. And then if they take these electric motorcycles, which actually have a larger motor, it's just an unregistered vehicle. So they're already covered and not allowed to drive it anyway. So they register it, then they can't register it because it's not a registerable vehicle.
So time out for a second. So Gio, how we doing? Just
So
describe, trying to keep us up to speed.
utility task vehicle, there's a reference here that's 551A.0016 on page 3 of the document that Mr. Rutledge provided. We could just do a utility task vehicle as defined in section 551A.0016 and then copy whatever it says.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, there we go. Catherine, we're going through, page by page. We're on the definitions right now, making sure we're square. We're just gonna work our way through all 6 pages.
Okay, so we're on page
We're on page 4 right now.
4 of
Three.
3.
3 and 4, yeah, framework definitions.
Okay,
So. So let me get this straight, like. Electric bike, these guys that are riding these electric bikes, they're fine.
So yeah,
Or do we have to put them under the ordinance if we want them to?
in the section where it allows y'all to make an ordinance for golf carts, it does not talk about making an ordinance for electric bikes. They are already highly regulated. But in the transportation code, easily spelled out for anybody, a bicycle is treated just like a vehicle. You know, a motor vehicle going down the road.
Mhm.
They have even more rules where they're required to ride on the right part of a lane. I left yesterday coming from Saw Ross down Saw Ross Avenue. And this lady was right in the middle of the road. I'm in my personal truck. I legally can't pass her because I'm in a municipality and I can't be on the wrong side of center within 100 feet of an intersection. There is no not within 100 feet of an intersection, just
Yeah,
about.
a lot of that.
And I'm just sitting here riding behind her the whole time and she runs every stop sign. Yep. And I was just like, and I would stop at the stop sign and catch back up there and she'd run the stop sign. I was just like, just move to the right.
Yeah, so,
All we need on some of that is education and some enforcement. Because it already exists in the pocket, the electric bikes, there's 3 classes, so they can be from like very little all the way up to 28 miles per hour. They're already highly regulated. I would not even really touch it.
okay,
Because what you're doing here is, I like that you're allowing some golf cart, maybe this utility, or what we call the recreational off-highway vehicle, if that's what y'all would like. If they speed over 30 miles per hour on these roads, they're speeding. That's still a violation.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have to mention that. We just simply say only allowed to draw parade, and we'll get there. I see that's next. But then adding in there, pocket bikes, mini motorbikes are not defined as whatever, are not allowed. That's fine, because you're just simply requoting transportation code.
yes.
Okay. So you okay, Gio?
On that one, yes. Is there any other recommendations that you have for the definitions or that?
Well, golf cart, if y'all do want to define it, it has a full-blown definition. It's in this book right here as well. Where you can just pull it out of there and say, this is a golf cart. You need to define the thing you're trying to regulate.
So right now, it says golf cart as referenced hereafter shall have the meaning assigned by Texas Transportation Code section 551.401. As it exists or may be amended and includes a motor vehicle designed by the manufacturer primarily for transporting persons on a golf course.
I'm pretty much sure that's the definition. So,
Yeah,
Okay.
but we have an ordinance.
yeah,
Mhm.
as long as, and you know, this. that-
So I'll mirror that language for. the
Yeah,
other-
referencing back to the transportation code saves you a ton of work.
Yep.
Because it's already been defined in a place that is pretty well established by law.
Okay. Any more definitions then?
And then, just to make sure people know, these are literally legal vehicles now. Have y'all seen it?
Yeah.
I know the white one, honestly, y'all know where that picture came from?
Oh, Ross.
I took that picture here in Alpine.
Oh,
In front of Granada.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that was before it was legal. And I don't know how she got it registered, but I had to talk about it, get it fixed. And then literally the DMV changed the rules. So those are legal. We don't even have to touch these things. It's a legal vehicle to drive around. It's just called a miniature vehicle. So we don't even have to touch them or worry about them. Those are pretty cool. I thought about buying it. But
You're big in like Europe and.
It's a E-class vehicle from Japan.
Yeah.
So if they do all the stuff and bring it over here and get it registered by DMV, fine, we'll let them drive it down any highway.
Okay, we're ready to move on to section 2. Operating regs. Be by licensed driver. Restricted to following locations, public streets, cases of speed limit of not more than 30 miles an hour. Recreation land, lane or path when provided. Shared use paths above 8 feet in width. Crossing an intersection, including an intersection with a street that has a posted speed limit of more than 35 miles an hour. And designated locations associated with a city-sponsored event. Good of those,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
It's the areas, right? Is that what it is? I'm sorry. Where we want them to be able to use it? Is that what you were talking
Yeah,
about?
that's correct.
Yeah. If y'all want to put in there, it's pretty easy. You can also put any state numbered highway. So that's a state numbered highway. Do you want them to drive it on there or not?
So the discussion we had before was not on East Avenue, not on the state highways.
What about Loop Road? That's a state numbered highway. That's Highway 223.
Loop Road, you have to get, some people have to drive that thing. Well, no, they don't. Get to the golf course. Well, unless they get around.
You can cross.
Well, so remember, this is to go get groceries. There's a whole nother law that says I can go to a golf course.
That's correct, yes. So
So that law still applies, it's in effect, and if the guy's like, I'm just going to the grocery store, I'm not doing anything in reference to this city ordinance. You know, and so you may later on reference that in here is that this does not prohibit someone operating under the one section that allows them to, you know, and it's right here, it's labeled out, but think about that part.
Well, we talked about everything but these two one-ways.
And the loop. You cross them, yes, but not on them.
And you can put in language, so when we talk about some off-highway vehicles, you know, they're allowed to cross highways and intersections,
Right.
so you can put in here, they can cross these prohibited roads at an intersection. I mean, that's just treating like I'm on this 30-mile-an-hour street and I want to continue on to this 30-mile-an-hour street. So I have to come here, address the stop sign, address the vehicles, and then cross at an intersection, not cross wherever I feel like it's somewhere at a controlled area called an intersection. That's some language you can put in there. That way they don't feel prohibited from getting to the grocery store. I can go on Second Street, cross, and then continue on Second Street and go to the grocery store. Right? But then do you want them to be able to drive on the road? It's just up to y'all, because that's a numbered highway. And you can limit, like you can say any numbered highway including, and just start limiting 118, 223, US 6790, or you can say whatever roads you want.
In my opinion, I don't think we want them on 223, 67 or 90.
I concur with that.
223 is which one?
Loop Road. It's a state highway. 223.
Yeah, I think that we should say that they can
Or
cross
They
the,
can cross. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
don't
know.
have a problem with it. And so the other one, 118.
yeah.
Won't they have to go on Loop Road to get to the golf course then?
You cross over.
Over to the, I guess, the sidewalk.
Well, will
How do they
Hendricks
get
be
to the
called?
golf
I mean, I'm gonna have to drive through Hendricks and then cut back on Fighting Buck Avenue where I live. I guess I could go all
So
around.
anywhere,
the whole-
what is that? That's Fighting Buck or
Yes.
Second?
Yes.
right? So
Yeah, 'cause I live over in Carpenter.
so anywhere in Carpenter's open, and then you
Yep.
come out over here, you cross 223, which
Yep.
is the loop,
Right.
and now you're on Fighting Buck.
Fighting Buck, work your way through.
Which then you can get to any golf course area there. I mean, who goes all the way up to the country club to get to the golf course? They work their way up.
Yeah.
So they
I
go
don't
in through the sides
Think of the
of the
side.
golf course?
Yeah.
And then even if they wanted to get to Saw Ross, they can just go up Saw Ross.
Yep.
Cross the highway.
Cross
and now you're
118
in
and
Saw
you're there.
Ross.
Right.
So one thing on section 2, it says,
Oh, yeah.
unless otherwise stated, the terms and requirements contained in the section apply to all regulated vehicles, including golf carts, utility task vehicles, pocket bikes, and mini motorbikes. We're gonna strike
Strike,
those two, right?
strike pocket bikes and mini motorbikes.
And then It does basically work out where in the definition of regulated vehicle, it says that any reference to golf cart shall apply equally to all regulated vehicles when the context so permits. But I didn't know if we wanted to say operation of regulated vehicles and replace all of these golf carts just to make it easier to read. Because it's really,
Oh,
it is really regulating more than just the golf carts, it's the regulated vehicles as well. Which is defined as golf cart, utility task vehicle, pocket bike and mini motorbike, which we might want to strike in the regulated vehicle.
yep,
Um,
that would clean it up.
so I'll just change those to regulated vehicles.
Yes, yep. So continuing back the discussion about location. Our current definition. It says public streets are supposed to be not more than 30 miles an hour. Well, 67, 90 are 30 miles an hour downtown. So that would in theory be allowed there. We probably are odd to add a line that says they're not allowed on state numbered highways.
That was in here already.
They can cross intersections.
Certainly can cross, yes.
Yeah, 'cause
They
I know there's
they can
beyond.
cross these prohibited roads at
At
intersections, something like,
intersections,
however y'all
yeah.
want to put that.
So on
It-
page
Yes, I think we should.
Page 13, section 3, it says operation of regulated vehicles prohibited in certain areas, and it says highway
Oh.
118, US Highway 6790.
And then we also want highway 223.
Okay,
Add to thing. Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, that's there. That's section 3. So that resolves that.
Yeah, the where they can. And
Yeah.
then, are there any city streets over 30 miles per hour?
No. No. Speed limit, official speed limit of the city is 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, and if it's unposted, it's already 30 miles per hour.
That's correct.
And so I just didn't know if there's a random spot I didn't know where y'all put a 35 or a 40.
No, the only 35s around 67, 90 come from the west end of town as they come into the city limits.
Yeah,
And going out on the east side, it's 35 and up to 45 miles an hour, but those are the state highways. There are no
Yeah.
city-owned city streets that are built there.
No, Fifth Street's a state highway, right?
State highway.
Yeah.
That one's
Street, yeah, that's 118.
that's
yes.
118, and when you get past school, it's 35
Yeah,
miles
did you
per hour.
find a
But
place?
you're already
that
saying
they
not
can
there.
cross an
Because why
intersection,
can't they
cross
just
the
go down one
highways
of the
and
side streets like
intersections?
that's what you're envisioning and then cross where needed?
in
Oh.
section 2, there's
Section
a.
Section 2, I know you
It
said
says
that.
basically crossing a street at an intersection,
Okay.
including an intersection with a street that has a posted speed limit of more than
Within
35.
35.
So they'd still be able to cross most of
Mhm.
there.
Yes, you
Okay.
got it. Yep.
We just
Um,
want safe crossing.
Because that's even within the order or the law that says that they, like, by law, you couldn't do a road over 35 anyway. It's 35, you only do it in 30, which is great, but it allows them to cross those other roads. Well, here, they can cross, there's very few other places. But let me ask you, because we can only have an ordinance that works within the city limits of the town.
Right.
Well, does that end at Salt Ross?
So
City
Saul
limits.
Ross is like not really city limits, but kind of is
It
regardless.
goes all the way to Dairy Queen.
Yeah,
doesn't
it goes
So
way.
is the campus of Salt Ross within city limits but controlled by Salt Ross?
Yes,
Okay,
Yes.
so as long as it's within city limits, your city ordinance would extend to Salt Ross.
okay,
So whenever they cross Salt Ross to go onto campus to go do something, that's allowed because they're within your ordinance area. But if they decide to go out of town, no, they can't.
Right.
Once they leave city limits, this ordinance doesn't travel with them.
it stops basically right past Dairy Queen. I think hippo taxidermy is included too. That's
Yeah.
like the very.
Well,
Like, so Mosley,
the concrete plant is.
where's it in that way?
It's like halfway through the loop, like the honey bumps.
Yeah,
If you know where the Max live, it's their houses.
so
like
they,
right-
they
right
get, they
up
get to use this, but because no one else is in the city, well, I guess if they want an ordinance that says drive your golf cart, it has to be annexed. But otherwise, because if it's not in the city, it doesn't work. I was thinking, okay, if somebody wanted to go to Salt Ross, how can I drive my golf cart up to Salt Ross for transportation? I can because it's within the city
Mhm.
and I can just cross at Salt Ross. Or I can just cross at Avenue A.
So Avenue B
Avenue
takes you
B.
all the way up to. the
Yeah, so I
museum.
can cross there and you can get up to the museum and do stuff
And
there.
Avenue B is owned by the city.
Yeah.
It stops at the stop sign up by the Museum of the Big Bend. That's when the city property stops and the university picks up.
So
Is it
this
still in
does-
the city limits?
I'm sorry,
It's
yes.
still within the city
it
limits.
is.
It's just being maintained by Salt Ross.
Well, it's still, yeah, it's within the city limits, but Saul Ross maintains.
Yeah.
From the stop sign up.
Okay.
We maintain from the stop sign down.
Yeah, so
So,
wherever the city limits is where they could drive a golf.
so Toronto Creek is city limits, right?
No, they're not part of the city limits. They are right outside.
So that's another question, because I know a lot of people that live out there that are really excited over this thing. I said, yeah, as long as you kind of hit all your back roads.
It's right outside that.
Coming
that
out.
Road where
Mhm.
you turn into that is
Mhm.
all.
I told, well, I was like, well, you can come down, get out of there, go down Lujan, take a left, and then take all them roads that are in the back out, back into town, right? So that would be legal.
Well, I don't know about the county, because I
The
think.
county is no, because the county, okay, I had to do a little research and apparently any city that does the work y'all are doing can create this ordinance. Counties are limited to very certain counties along the Red River and the Gulf of Mexico. Which is really far from here. So Brewster County cannot make an ordinance that says they get to drive their vehicles like this. When they're in the county, they're in violation. They are operating off highway vehicle where prohibited. When they're in the city, they're not in violation. So it's entirely
You'll
up
have
to
a
them.
short ride of violation.
They're gonna roll some dice one day, and just be like, well, you know what?
There's a police officer that lives right there. I would see the car.
So, because the city ordinances cannot expand beyond the city. Is there a possibility?
There
that
is a
would ever
possibility they can annex. We'd be happy to annex.
Become.
We're at the right
It becomes a
circle.
thing. It's like, hey, you happen to live in the county, and the county does not have the authority.
We do
that
have
the city is
services.
doing, so why don't y'all come on in? That's, that's just what it comes down to. Now, if there is a city maintained road that y'all have annexed, then that works, but that's it. It's a publicly maintained highway.
So, would the ETJ be applicable to county residents who are within a mile of the city?
Y'all have to figure out where your ordinances work. I don't know that.
Well, we usually have like some type of authority within our ATJ. We usually don't enforce it. It's been our, common practice.
So y'all,
However, that
that
might be a question we could look into.
is how far does your ordinances expand? Because I know what ETJ is.
A mile.
and
Yeah, it's a mile.
It is.
ETJ's one.
Yeah, but does your ordinance expand into the ETJ?
It just depends on what it is. We'd have to look up for this specific type of ordinance. I think.
Yeah. And
Some
if
of
it
these-
does, then you're
Building
good.
codes, it doesn't.
It
That's
does.
correct.
It does or it doesn't,
We have the authority to enforce certain building codes.
but we don't, yeah,
we
I
don't,
know
exactly.
Justin's always wanting to talk to Joe
So-
about doing that.
From the golf course to Toronto, we have, if they're going to the golf course from there, from Toronto Creek to the golf course, that's less than 5 miles, right?
But yeah, so there's
So
a whole nother
technically-
law.
So technically,
They're
they can
legal.
still drive their golf cart that way, right?
Yeah, there's a whole nother law that already exists on the books that allows you to go to and from the golf course directly. We're talking about taking a golf cart because I want to go to the grocery store or I want to go. see
Well, that's what I'm
my friend
saying
over
is the way they have to go. They say, well, I'm going to the golf course, but no, I'm actually going to the store because
They're gonna be
They're
standing in
out.
front of the judge and I'm gonna be telling them about like, why do you have milk on the way to the golf course?
Yeah,
I
pick it
don't
up on the
know.
way home.
No golf clubs.
So that law already exists and this ordinance doesn't interfere with that law. So the guys who already live over there within 5 miles, they get to go to it. And the debate always comes is like, well, can I go to the golf course in this way? Well, no, we're gonna look at the definition of I'm taking the route to go to the golf course and go back.
Hmm.
And so, but do people abuse that and go here, this, get that? Yeah,
Of course.
that's an individual enforcement.
So, but once they're within the city limits, no matter where they come from, they're legal.
Because of your ordinance,
Because
because
of
you
your
have to do the things that your
No,
ordinance
no, I
says.
understand that. I'm just saying, hey, if I'm on, to your point,
Mhm.
I'm heading towards the golf course, oops, I'm now in city limits. I can go wherever I want.
Very much so.
yeah, that's where I was like,
And,
Yeah.
oh, well, how can you know golf clubs? I went and had lunch at the golf course.
Yeah.
You're legal.
And it is, so when they're encountered on that short trip,
Yes.
before they get to the city,
Go
they
to
better
golf
have some
course.
golf clubs and be route to the golf course. Once
Yeah.
they get into the city, if they've done everything your ordinance says, there's nothing that says they can't drive a vehicle. It's just how do you help the people who are outside of town?
Right. That's-
because there are a lot that live out there, that, are part of the community. I mean,
Yeah.
what do they have? City water?
Now,
Yes.
now y'all-
They do, yeah.
y'all are talking about people having to get the permit, which I'm all for, because
Yeah.
it creates a little inspection thing. Is this permit open to anyone who does not have a house within the city? That's another thing I'll need to think about, like how
Well,
limited is
if they're
that?
gonna be operating it in the city, then they need it.
Yeah, I would
I
think
would
so.
think
I would need it,
Yeah.
but if I don't live in the city,
But say they,
where am I saying I park this thing that's not in the city limits?
Well, we're not regulating that aspect. I think we'd be okay.
You're just fine if they
Right.
just do the things.
Right.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's up to y'all, you know, because
So-
we're gonna be finding a lot of people getting stopped. You know, or people that want to do it, but don't live quite right inside town, right? So they gotta go to the golf course. But then once they get to town, they can go get bread.
Yep.
They go see their friend.
Yeah.
And when they're coming back, they probably should be coming from the route of the golf
You
course.
got it.
So
Education.
is, Los Ranchos,
Yeah.
Which one's?
that's outside city
It
limits
is
or it is?
outside as well.
It is outside
Oh,
city
okay.
limits.
Well, I'm just kind of throwing stuff like if someone's coming down Los Ranchos Estates,
Is there a way for them to cross that loop road
there's not. You gotta go on the loop,
to get to?
either drive it or then cut back into Carpenter and drive all the way around.
I wonder, is it saying here they can't go on sidewalks? Cause they.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
No, you can't drive these on sidewalks.
Or on the
It's
side,
possible.
on
Oh,
the
okay.
side.
It's so it's a highway is fence to fence. So when Bill's property ends and Bob's property begins, everything that's the right of way in between is the highway. So if you're saying that, that's why we need to address the 223 thing. And what is the speed limit through there? It's 30.
It's
30 or 35?
It is
Yeah,
30
35.
and 35. It's 30 up to Hancock, and after that, it's 35 all the way around to 118.
So that's a good thing to bring up. How do they get out of there? Also, if somebody who lives right there, how do they get out and get to town?
So I'll tell you how my neighbor goes to the golf course, because he used to do it all the time. He's used to literally hop on Loop Road and zip around to the golf course.
So you may not want to limit. all
Do we
state
have the
highways.
authority to allow it on the 223 up to 40 miles per hour? Cause then if we did up to 40.
Up to 35,
Up to
right?
'Cause right
35.
now-
There's no 40 on two.
No, there's no.
What I'm saying is if we, this section of the ordinance says. With a posted speed limit of more than 35 miles per hour. So I guess 30, but that would still be okay. for
Yeah.
Loop road for them to travel on there.
I would say we'd leave Loop Road, I mean, put it on there that people can drive it, just so that if something happens, you know, we're talking about this and how's someone like that gonna get there? And like you said, your neighbor,
Yeah, my only concern is the amount of truck traffic on that road is off the charts.
Mhm.
And the big trailers go there coming out of Presidio. So I just hate to find someone stuck with a 18-wheeler running up their rear end.
yeah,
That's the challenge.
well, I mean, it happens in a vehicle also, I mean, it can happen, you know what I'm saying?
No, I get it, just.
Yeah, but I know that there's more, I guess you could, I mean, more danger in a golf cart, in a UTV than a vehicle,
Yeah.
because the enclosure and stuff.
That's the concern.
So what do we do about it?
Yeah, so, well, there is a way for my neighbor to just cross from, Hancock across. There was a way to do that. He used to just ride on the road. Or actually.
But what are we gonna do about those at Los Ranchos?
So they can't cross right over.
Los Ranchos are not in the city limits.
But if they get their permit, if we're willing to do all this and they're allowed to. You know, and they get the permit through the city, registered through the golf cart through the city. Right? Cause we were talking about that,
Yeah.
Mr. Al, then they're allowed to,
So,
Right.
so.
Because they're also within 5 miles of the golf.
Well, that's the other
course,
part.
right?
So
yeah.
They're within
to
5 miles.
Rich's
they're allowed
point,
to.
say I'm a golfer, I've got a golf cart. I do not live in the city limits. I gotta get to the city limits. The city limits is 223. Now I'm in the city limits. I cross over, I can get to the golf course.
So the guy before, like right now.
Yep.
Can go from there to the golf course.
Yep.
Right now today.
Yes,
He already can, because there's a law that says he's allowed.
Even
to go
on
5 miles.
223.
even on
Because it
223.
is 35 miles per hour. so
Yeah.
He can.
Yeah.
He
So
can
might as
already,
well-
he can already do that now, and then when you make your ordinance, he still can.
He still
They don't
can.
offset each other.
Oh,
There's
okay.
still a law that says
If you're
you
within
can drive
5
your
miles.
vehicle to do this. Y'all are allowing people to drive a vehicle to do more. You're allowing more, does not offset the other law that allows people to do it already.
So do you think it's fine as written? And
So-
putting highway 223 as a prohibited?
It is, well. Does somebody live in the city on 223 that can't get to the city unless they drive on 223? No. Like, if I pull out of my driveway, am I allowed, is there a place I can immediately cross
about
the road? Or
All
drive the
them
road?
right there on,
Right in front of the
Well,
radio
y'all-
station.
In front of the radio station is Carpenter, that's not an issue.
Hendricks, the
Talking about-
ones up in Hendricks. On Hendricks Avenue, they're like, say Dr. Billings where he lives, cause he's on the
Adrian.
far end.
Yep, yep.
And then I can't remember what other house is there. But then what about the one, say, up on the hill?
Well,
Are they city limits or no?
I'm in the city, yeah.
Yeah, so all that, and then say if they got one and have to come down, and remember, their only entrance is on the loop.
Yeah, so like Lewis Harbison would have a struggle with that.
You see, something like that.
So, and they would be fine if they're going golfing, because they get to do that. But for your ordinance,
But they're
they
still
would
part
be
of
in
the city.
violation. If you prohibit 223.
So my only concern is,
I'm just trying to cover
no,
everybody.
I'm with you. So how do we approach it? If we allow 223, everyone and their brother is gonna be on Loop Road. That's my worry, because now you have 6,000 residents who say, oh, I can go do it because 223 is allowed. What we're trying to solve for is those who live on 223. How do we give them access?
Well, my whole deal, whenever I was kind of presenting this to Chief Lasoya at the time, was, one of the things I was looking at is that it could, a lot of people might want to get into this, right? Driving a golf cart, driving their UTV. I go, that might cut down on the heavier traffic, vehicles and this and that, because somebody might want to just be driving that thing around everywhere. That was one of my thoughts, and I go, but the issue that we got and that we're always going to have here in this town is 18-wheelers, because there's no loop to go all the way around,
Well, that
and
is 223 is the loop for the 18-wheelers.
a lot of them.
Yeah, I watch them all the time. They're
Yeah.
running like mad. Yeah, so
It's the actual bypass.
it is the bypass.
So, I mean.
For the real big stuff, right?
Yeah, if they get out a permit to not hit the bridge.
Yep.
They're gonna drive on 223.
So what's the solution to help those who live on 223 who don't have other access? Because that's the problem I think Rich is trying to work.
Yes.
That's, do you limit it so far as to say that if you live here, you get to do it versus other people? Like where do you start making two tiers of people?
Yeah.
Don't wanna do.
We're just trying to give them access.
I know,
Back into the city.
Like, but do you say in your ordinance, not driving on 223 doesn't apply to these addresses? It just seems odd.
Or if you live on 223, you have to cross in the quickest way possible to get off it.
I mean, something like that.
I mean, that's what you're trying to do.
I mean, that part is strictly
That's
how
on-
y'all want to present this to the public, so. But there are a few, I get it, if I lived there and I came out of my driveway, I don't have an intersection, right, I'm not at an intersection, I'm at a driveway. I'm gonna have to go over here to get off of here. So if this guy gets found over here, he's basically operating outside of your ordinance then, that could be fine. And you could put, it's how y'all feel like putting the verbiage,
So going back again. If someone's coming down, this has nothing, if they're going straight to the golf course, they're allowed to drive on 223.
yes.
So that's where I'm at, is like,
That's how that law works, because if they're going straight to the golf course. The limited operation is within 5 miles of a golf course. And they just can't be on a public highway, or it's 35 miles per hour or less, is basically what it is, and it says during the daytime.
And that's a state law.
That's
Already
law.
state law,
So state always supersedes city.
well. Yeah,
yes and no.
what's happening there, think of it, it's two different laws, like y'all aren't fighting each other in a law here.
Mhm.
They already get to do this one thing, which is go within 5 miles to the golf course on roads 35 miles per hour or less. Got to put on my license plate and got to, do it during the day. Y'all are allowing people to do it a little bit more, which still allows them to do it. then it's just whatever y'all put in the ordinance, if they operate outside of the ordinance, then they're doing it where prohibited. And unless they're doing it like this. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So, like, it's gonna be a weird little thing because people can be like, I'm just going to the golf course. You're like, okay. I can be on this road. So you don't wanna have too many contradictions there because from enforcement, it becomes a nightmare. And then the understanding from the public just becomes why does he get to do that?
Mhm.
Well, because he's literally golfing. Why don't I get to do that? Go take up golfing. You know, instead of you're going to get bread.
Mhm.
So. And the issue too with off-highway vehicles, it's never strictly prohibited. It's the purpose of the trip. I could drive my off-highway vehicle from Fort Davis to Tractor Supply if I'm a farmer. Right. Because it's 25 miles to pick up farming supplies.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I just have a couple things I gotta do and I'm perfectly legal. So that guy still gets to do that and he never is affected by this, your ordinance.
So I get the 223 issue. My biggest concern is I know how many. And I do see some immediate correction. If someone wants to take the risk, let it be.
I mean, I'm willing, I say take a risk. I mean. I just don't I don't know a way out of it with. And it's sad that it's only like a handful of people.
Yeah.
But you can't say they can, but then they can't, and then if the law already states that they can drive on it if they're going to the golf course. Then,
Let's hope we don't end up with a parade of golf carts running out 223 and I got a bunch of 18-wheelers there.
Well, when we get to the equipment part of it, y'all have a lot of options there. Like they have to have some equipment that's safe, like headlights and stuff. If y'all put in there, like not nighttime operation, must turn on headlights.
well, that's where we were at that day, right? And it was like
Little
30
things like
minutes
that.
before
It does.
sundown or before it gets dark or something like that was the actual law.
Well, we
That's a
define
good
nighttime
question.
in law. It's half an hour after sunset, half an hour.
Half an hour after sun, there it is.
Okay,
That's easy.
and,
You can just reference that in the transportation code. It's easily defined.
and I think the city attorney told us that we can't allow it at night, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, you could, but I don't recommend it
Okay.
at all.
That's
What she was reading was the other part, where if I'm going golfing, I can't do it at night. Like
Uh,
it's already there. Can't do it at night. Whatever y'all put in the ordinance is allowed. But if you don't put in the ordinance, then people get to do something. I recommend keeping it during the day. And then even put on, like, they're gonna have to put on a slow moving vehicle emblem anyway. That's a nice big orange thing on the back. If they have tail lamps and headlamps, which they are required, you know, we put that in there. You can also make a requirement that if they are operating the vehicle under this ordinance, they must turn them on. Just a safety measure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I just ordered one, should be delivered this week.
Ah,
Signals, it's got, I mean, it's fully loaded,
How's we go?
25,
I can't wait for the next parade.
yeah,
Uh,
25,
Right in it.
yeah. Yeah, it's a four.
Okay, so you also said, well, first of all, I just noticed that the ordinance does require like a statement, where the operator waives any and all rights to sue. And we need to add that on the permit, the chief made. Other than that, I haven't seen anything in these next sections, but you mentioned last time we're not allowed to charge a permit fee, right?
No, you can do permanent, but there is a section that says a subdivision can't make someone register a vehicle. And that's what y'all kept calling it, registering a vehicle. So I think that we have quite a few people, we stop people with the sovereign citizen ideology that throw that section in our face that say, hey, I can't be required to register my vehicle. And I said, well, subdivision didn't tell you, Texas did, go register your vehicle. But Alpine being a subdivision, I would steer away from saying registration, because that
And say
means
permit?
something. I would say
Okay,
permit.
so, and
They
we'll
must
just strike,
obtain a permit from the, however
the
y'all wanna call it. Cause y'all get to do that.
Mhm.
That's easy.
and we can charge a fee for that.
You can charge a fee for a permit.
okay.
But
Yeah.
not the
But I would
And
steer, I would steer away from registration, cause you're gonna get somebody that's gonna come up and throw that back in your face about, what about this one section right here? And that's what we get a lot of, is people like, I can't be required to register my vehicle by a political subdivision. Now, they are going to have to obtain registration from the state of Texas. It's not really registration. It's a license plate. License plates aren't registration. License plates just identify the vehicle. They have to get a golf cart license plate.
And you can find that on the website?
If you go to the DMV, they have them sitting right now. You go to the tax office, go to the old post office.
Oh,
They're sitting there right now. I already went and asked them. They said they've got some and they cost $14.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and what that also helps is your citizens are, that do this. They go get that, right? They do all these things and then they come get the permit from the city, right? That the city, the thing has a license plate number now.
Mm.
So you can actually start using that as a license plate. Well, a lot of these other ordinances do is they create a sticker that they issue to show that the vehicle has also been permitted. Because remember, I can go and, I have to get one if I'm going golfing. I go get a golf cart license plate. And they have so many of them because nobody does it. Do your buddies know they gotta go get a golf cart license plate if they're
Now
gonna
they
go
do.
golfing? They gotta go get it. Costs $14. You put it on your vehicle. Then y'all can come up with, if you want, a little sticker. Galveston does it where they just slap it in a certain
Yeah,
spot.
Port
and
A's
say,
got the same thing.
Here's your city of Alpine permit that says you've been inspected and you're good for the year. Then you just have them come back every year, make sure they get inspected.
So now going to that, where are we gonna hold these inspections? I know that Chief Lasoya at the time said that the APD is gonna do the inspections, right? Where, when?
I'm guessing, well, I would think like they'd go park right outside of PD and, you know,
PD
hit the button, let them
and
in. And
who would
stuff.
who do they need to talk to do the inspections? Who do they?
I'm not too sure.
That's
Chief
what
is
we
the
need to
one,
figure
and
out.
it was the previous chief is the one who was, you know, in charge of everything on that. end.
Mhm.
That would be up to,
So it says
probably by
right here,
appointment, I bet.
upon receipt of the completed application and permit fee, which is $50 first year, $25 after that, a member of the police department shall make arrangements to inspect the golf cart for adherence to this ordinance. When inspector has approved the vehicle, the annual golf cart registration permit decal shall be issued to the owner. The decal shall be immediately fixed to the right or to the front panel of the driver's side of the golf cart, so it is clearly visible. So we got that in there. The golf cart registration permit shall be effective for 2 years from the date of the issuance or until such time as revoked for non-compliance or when the golf cart is transferred to a new owner. So I think we got that covered.
Mhm.
And we call it a permit, not a registration fee.
I'm just
Yes,
striking.
and I
all
like
the
that, that
registration.
if someone continues to violate this, y'all have the authority and ability to say, no, but you can't do this anymore. Now, did they get to go to the golf course? Still, does that exist?
Yeah.
But you're opening up a lot of freedoms to people, but they have to use some responsibility with this. And if it's like, hey, you don't have the permit, and from an enforcement point of view, what I'll tell you is that if they operate their golf cart outside of y'all's ordinance, it is already a state law violation. I know y'all are gonna put in there as a violation of this, and that's what the city of Alpine Police Department can enforce. Any peace officer in the state of Texas can enforce operate an off-highway vehicle or golf cart where prohibited. Because once they're outside of y'all's little bubble you're gonna give them, they're prohibited. And so if they have these repeated violations, we tell you all about, hey man, we kept catching these guys doing this stuff. Now, that doesn't mean I ran a stop sign, right? That's already a violation. That really isn't gonna come back to this.
Mhm.
It's, hey man, you're trying to use this thing, but you keep going up and down the one lanes.
Mhm.
That specifically says no.
Yes.
And then it's like, now you're violating this. Like, y'all have a tool,
Yes.
like,
So
be
now,
responsible and they get to keep.
also now that you're here, because I brought this up, when we were first talking about it. You know, we have these festivals. Say people come down and drive these golf carts. Festivals last through the night, you know, through 10, what is it, 10, 11 o'clock, something like that during downtown. If that's what they drove up here during the day when it was light, now how do they get back to where they're staying?
Not within your ordinance.
Right.
So that's where, remember, we were kind of having that discussion, like, what are we gonna do? Or are we gonna do something about that? You know,
Well, if they come in during the daytime and they want to go at night, the ordinance doesn't allow that. Trailer them out.
That's entirely up to y'all, what y'all put in there for daytime, nighttime. If you open up nighttime, that's nighttime all the time.
mhm.
We can't do it till like midnight or 11 or
That's
something.
entirely up to you. If y'all
During-
wanna write. Daytime, nighttime are easily defined, midnight is the term, but that's every midnight. So that's entirely up to y'all. Like, if they wanna go to the game.
Yeah,
okay,
like
the
if,
game-
they
when
go to
when
the,
it was daytime, when they left, it was nighttime. How far do y'all give leeway? Do you give 100% leeway? Do you write in there everything unless they're attending this or attending this or attending this? He doesn't wanna write that article. So,
So what you're saying, and is our city attorney was reading a different part of the code.
so
She
there's,
said can't operate at nighttime, that's golf carts.
that's,
For golfing.
so in 403, let me double check here. I don't want to read it out loud, but. So the section where they're already right now says specifically during the daytime, not more than 5 miles. The next section, what y'all are trying to do is operate on a highway authorized by a municipality. So let me double check what they say here. Quite literally, the section here just says y'all get to do this thing as long as it's within your boundaries of your municipality and has a posted speed limit not more than 35 miles per hour. Then it goes into counties get to do this, but it's very specific counties that border the Gulf of Mexico or the Red River. That's it. Y'all have quite a bit of leeway
So to
under
Rich's-
404. So what she was doing, when she was talking about 403, which is golfing right now. Under 404 for golf carts, where we're operating now, y'all get to make a bunch of the rules.
So to Rich's point earlier, which part of the discussion is raising right now. Is it conceivable, is it allowable for the city to say, I'll just use the term, dawn till midnight?
Oh, yeah, you can put,
I would, if we say midnight, then it kind of covers festivals, baseball games. Cause you know, some of them,
Yeah.
the 06 games last
Mhm.
a long
Yeah.
time.
and so you can say during daytime hours and until midnight, however you want to do it. So
Okay.
daytime is already defined as it's basically a half an hour before the sun comes up
Yeah.
because we get light before then, and then half an hour after. And then you can say and extends however he wants to word this into it till you pick a magic number.
Okay.
Because if you say nighttime, you're talking all of nighttime.
Yeah, no.
Like
Yeah.
the moment the
Up
sun
till-
sets at 5 o'clock in the afternoon during the winter. It's nighttime.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's 5 o'clock, but now you're saying till midnight. That's as wide as you wanna go.
And I think that would cover our festivals, that would cover the
Works.
baseball game.
Now you need to
Man,
make
some
sure
of them
they have
games
adequate
last.
lighting,
That's correct.
so. Like I already like adequate lighting, and then make sure I agree with having it turned on during the day. Is it hard to turn on lights on a golf cart during the day?
No, it's easy.
Turn 'em on. It makes you more visible.
Heck, yeah. They
And at
don't-
night, there's already a duty to display lights. Like if they operate without it at night, they're already wrong.
They're-
But if y'all put it in there, now it's like, you guys are out here up to no good, turning off your lights. They're operating outside of your ordinance already, which means eventually you can start revoking the ordinance.
Mhm.
Now, we do need to make sure the section, the chapter 547 of the transportation code, that's where we talk about equipment on vehicles, does not apply to a golf cart at all. So that just, we have to bring it back in somehow.
So it's in here.
Mhm.
It says. Golf carts must have headlights, tail lamps, reflectors, parking brake and mirrors.
Yes, I like that.
Utility vehicles must have operating brakes, headlights, tail lamps, a working muffler. And a slow moving vehicle when operating streets with no speed limit.
I would add slow moving vehicle to a golf cart and just say it. They're gonna have to have it anyway, state law requires it because they're a slow moving vehicle.
Yeah, yeah.
You're just simply restating, that way they're like, it's not in, just put it in. The issue is there's some sections in 457 where, okay, what if they wrap it up in every colorful light going down the road and make it a distraction? That's not prohibited unless y'all make it prohibited. So how far do y'all, like, red, white, and blue flashing lights?
Yeah, I mean,
Like, I cannot put those on anything with an authorized emergency vehicle and my golf cart by state law. I don't like it. It's just how the law exists. Do y'all want the guys in town driving around with whatever? Okay, we got a section that talks about driving lights. I can put them on my golf cart and use them. And I'm not in trouble because I don't have to dim them because there. So there's a few things that we may want to think about. How do I apply what we normally think about on lights on cars where people have the dim headlights and stuff like that? How do we apply that to a golf cart so they're not blinding other people or getting in the way or confusing?
So I'm looking here and she referenced section 551.403 and it says that it's daytime only.
That's the one that says going to a golf course.
Okay,
So if you'd have gone one more section to 404,
well, let me list to quickly take a look. She did make a reference to 551A.055.
that's a whole nother ball. 551A what?
0.055. And I haven't looked that one up yet.
Okay, now we're in off-highway vehicle section. So there's two sections of the law, 551, 551A. 551 has golf courts, 551A has off-highway vehicles. The operator. Okay, so that's the one where we already say that certain off-highway vehicles can do master plan stuff already. Uh. 35 miles per hour daytime. If she'd have gone to 054, it says a county or municipality. Where's the one? Oh, it's 53. That's where the governing body of a municipality may allow an operator to operate unregistered off-highway vehicles while all are part of highways, as long as it's within your city limits, 35 miles per hour. Those two sections sort of mirror each other. So just have them double check. Y'all are trying to create an ordinance under 551A.053 for off-highway vehicles, and you're trying to create the ordinance under 551.404 for golf carts. Golf carts.
So you think there's still a way we can allow it at night?
Yeah,
Based
because-
on 551A.053.
Yes, that's the section that allows the municipality to make some rules. And the only rules the state starts off with is must be within your city, not more than 35 miles per hour. That's it. After that, like, those are the two things y'all can't break. And then you can add anything else you want to it. And they're pretty similar for both. What she's doing is she's going to the section that already says people can kind of do this already. But that they have limitations. And so if y'all say, hey, you're doing it under our ordinance, we'll allow like this.
So daytime up to midnight.
And where's that section? Let's see, you have the page.
Back up here.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if I could get over that.
Of course you can.
That's it, I water.
Section 2, right? Section 2F.
Okay.
Says
Operation of regulated vehicles.
it's prohibited at night. It's need gonna say is allowed during the daytime
As defined by,
as defined
and
by.
because then you're creating a start time called 30 minutes before sunrise.
It's the same as we pilots have to do from nighttime.
Yeah.
During the daytime. And what else?
Up to, during the daytime and up to midnight.
During the daytime as defined by.
And it's I get it for you, it's 540 else. They